Are you stuck overthinking, spinning your wheels, analyzing every possible consequence of your action, keeping you stuck, not being able to take any action, replaying events over and over and over in your head to the point of exhaustion? If that's the case, love, then this video is for you. Welcome back to my channel. This is the place where we learn that being an empath is a gift, not a curse. My name is Karen Katz. If you're new here, it is an honor to meet you. I am a certified professional life coach, a speaker for Fortune 500 companies, and a manifestation teacher. I am also an empath that has overcome the dynamic of overgiving, people-pleasing, attracting narcissists, codependence. And if you want to do the same, then start by subscribing to the channel, turning on notifications so that you don't miss one single video that can start shifting things for you powerfully. So today we're talking about overthinking and how to take control of our minds. Let's get right into it. The mind is a powerful tool if we use it to our advantage, if we take charge of it. You're the master, it is your servant. You are the one in charge. It doesn't get to control you. You get to control it. It is a powerful tool. When we want something, it'll help us look for ways to get what we want. It'll help us solve problems. It'll help us in so many ways. Here's the thing. When you want something, it's like saying, I want to manifest the love of my life. I want to manifest an abundant business. I want to manifest a great job. Whatever we want to manifest comes about because of contrast. I don't have it, therefore I want it. If there's rain, I know I want sun. If it is cloudy, I know that I want to see the stars, right? If I am not getting the love I want, I know that I want to get more love. I want to be deeply loved and cherished. So whenever we decide this is what we want, it's literally like saying, I'm going on a trip to Hawaii, I'm calling the Uber, and it's gonna take me to the airport. So we get in the car, heading to the airport, heading towards what we want, and in the middle of the trip, we say, oops, I forgot my luggage, we need to go back. So the driver goes back. We get the luggage, put it in the car, head back down to the airport again. Next thing, we're almost there at the airport. Almost there, 2 minutes away. Oh my God, no, I forgot my phone, we need to go back. Driver takes us back. Get back in the car. We are again very, very close. He's parking. I forgot my passport. We need to go back. By that time, the driver is going to look at us and say, are you sure you want to go? Because it doesn't seem like it. And this is exactly what happens when we want to manifest something. We want to manifest our heart's desire, the love we crave, the money we want, whatever it is, right? We want that thing, and then the mind starts going into the picture with all these doubts or these worries, all these fears. We're coming closer to looking at the options, the possibilities, taking action, feeling inspired, energized, and when the mind comes up with the doubt, stops us. If it comes up with the fear or the worry, it stops us, right? And it creates this resistance. It's hard to get movement because it drains our energy. It's very hard to move forward because we're constantly in that internal battle. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. It's like we're pulling different sides of ourselves in this internal battle that leads to exhaustion. Drained of our energy, what happens? We stay stuck. We cannot take any action. It is exhausting. It happens to everyone, right? Because the mind's job is to keep us safe, to make sure we stay in the same space, even if it's not right for us, even if it's a bad relationship, or if we're feeling lonely, or if we feel that we want to pursue our passion or our purpose. The first thing that the mind wants to protect us from is the feeling of uncertainty. Uncertainty triggers the stress response. This is the known. It feels safe and familiar to the mind. This is the unknown. So it's going to want to try whatever it can, any way it can, to keep us stuck. The fear, the doubt, the worry. Again, is it controlling us, or are we controlling it? In addition to that, in the case of empaths, where we've experienced traumatic experiences, again, an overload to our sensitive nervous system. If this is your first video, make sure to check out the other videos that I've linked in the description, where I explain this dynamic in a lot more detail. Trauma is an overload. Anything that was an overload to our sensitive, not weak nervous system. So when we were young and felt misunderstood, hurt emotionally, and we were left to tend to these wounds on our own, rejection, shame, humiliation, we couldn't do it. It was exactly the same as having to deal with a broken bone or deep cut at the age of 3. Nobody's going to expect a 3-year-old child to do that. But emotional wounds, because they're not visible, we were expected to do that. And on top of that, shamed for being the way we were, leading us to a whole misconception that we are broken, that we are wrong. If in addition to that we've had abuse, physical, mental, emotional, sexual, we felt the world was not a safe place. So the mind takes this on overdrive. This let me keep you safe, it makes it even more important. Let me make sure you're safe becomes hypervigilant. It looks around, analyzes all possibilities from every single angle to ensure that it's going to be safe. And in that case, we are stuck even more. There's more fear, there's more worry, and we're stuck spinning our wheels even more, preventing us from taking any action. Because uncertainty is the worst possible thing. So the idea is to keep us stuck right where we are, thinking that that's all we deserve, to be treated that way, to be mistreated, in most probably the same type of pattern and relationships that we learned was what we deserved when we were young, that we were exposed to when we were young. Not what we deserve, but that's all we know. And again, the known is the comfort zone. It is safety because it's familiar to the mind. Anything that's unknown feels scary. Uncertainty is the worst thing for the mind. It would rather know, even if it's something bad, than not know. And let me know if that's your case. There's a situation and you're on standby, you're waiting, whether it be a person, a relationship, a job. The worst thing is not knowing. Not knowing is the worst. We'd rather know, even if it's something bad, than not know. So the first thing that's important to know is that this overthinking process is not something to be ashamed of. It's not something that's wrong with you. It is a trauma response. For safety, we are stuck. Our mind is trying to protect us, and we are stuck trying to analyze all the possible ways in which something could go wrong to protect us, Because if I make a mistake or I do something wrong, there's going to be punishment, there's going to be shame, there's going to be humiliation and rejection. So the mind is trying to protect us. First thing that is important to know. Now, In order to move through this, right? Because the most important thing to understand is that the mind thinks that we're in the same situation that we were years ago, and it's not the case. We are not there anymore. We need to realize that we are not stuck in the same situation. So there are several things that we could start doing. The mind is a powerful tool, but only if we take charge of it, not if it controls us. So 3 things that I'm going to share with you today to help you take charge of this process. Number 1, you're going to want to choose a mantra, a deeply meaningful sentence that can ground you whenever you feel the mind is starting to take control and go into this overdrive, overthinking state. So for me, one that worked a lot is, I'll be fine either way. I will be fine either way. And just repeat it several times. For several of my clients, their favorite ones are, I am safe, I am safe, I am safe. And repeat it and find peace with it. You can do a little bit of tapping from EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, to help you even ground a little bit more. And another one that is very useful, it is okay. It is okay. It's going to be okay. It is okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. Another one a lot of people like is, it is what it is. It is what it is, right? We're trying to control something. Control is what we do when we're in a very fearful situation. We're trying to control everything. And relinquishing some of that control is what is going to free some of this stress. And that's not easy for us to do if we've had traumatic experiences. For empaths, it's definitely not easy. So relinquishing control is hard. We can start grounding ourselves in this mantra that's meaningful to you. Number 2 is start becoming aware of the inner conversations that you're having. When we want something, let's say somebody wants a raise, right? Anything that we want, we start playing out these conversations. The person starts to play out the conversations with their boss, and they're going to tell me no, and I'm going to get upset, and what am I going to say when he says this? And we play out these conversations. If I'm going to have a difficult conversation with my partner and tell him that I'm feeling disconnected, or I don't like the way he talks to me, he's going to say this to me, and I'm going to get more upset. So what's the point? What's the use of that? We almost talk ourselves out of even having the conversation. Again, because uncertainty feels threatening. And the mind is trying to protect us. But here's what I'm going to invite you to take that strength that I know you have, that rebellious nature that's inside you that wants to come out, to challenge your mind. And when it comes up with that worst case scenario, challenge it. It doesn't have to be that way. There are so many options, right? You can tell your mind, that's one of the options. Thank you for bringing that one up. That's not the only option. I appreciate it. And we start to take control over those inner conversations that are playing out, that are creating a worst case scenario. Why? Because the mind is trying to keep us right where we are, stuck. Familiar means safe. And that is not the case anymore. You are not 3, 4, 5 years old anymore. And the third thing that we could start doing is taking charge of our mind, retraining our mind. And for this, there are a ton of tools to explore. When I say this, people immediately think of meditation. Meditation works for some people. It doesn't work for other people. I explore a lot of tools with my clients. Throughout my journey, I explored hundreds of tools. Some of them are writing tools. Others are breathing tools. I love doing this exploration with my clients to present several tools one at a time so they could see, this one I liked it, this one I didn't. Meditation doesn't work for everyone. And here's the thing, if it doesn't work for you or it hasn't worked for you, make sure you tell yourself there's nothing wrong with you. It's not that you're broken. It's not that you have to do it through meditation. It is not the only way. It is not the only tool. And it's just a matter of finding the right tool for you. I invite you to do this discovery process, this exploration process in a supportive environment where you're introduced to the tools and you have an opportunity to play with it, to test it out, and have the support and accountability that is needed for us to start making the change, because the mind wants to keep us in the known, in the safety. It wants to say, that's not going to work, right? Creating a new habit is not that easy. The uncertainty is going to trigger the stress response. So the most important thing is to start exploring it in a safe and supportive environment. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up, and do share this information with other fellow empaths that need to hear this. Take very good care of yourselves, and I will speak to you soon. Namaste.